G'day, Ruskin enjoys. Hope you're right, because it's time for the 48-hour analysis. Yep, we're going to go ahead and take a look at all the skins in the current Rust store, compare them to previous Rust store skins, to get a good idea in regards to, well, how much each of these skins are likely to sell by next Thursday, and then knowing that, we'll then question, are these skins still holding up to being perfectly fine investments, or are there any potential problems that you need to be aware of? So sit back, relax, I'm going to start yapping. So, yeah, it's this Rust store, yeah. I'm sure you were very pleased with it. You weren't very pleased with it, no. I saw a lot of your responses on YouTube, and there was quite a lot of dissatisfaction. Yeah, we'll go with that, yeah. And it shows because with the first 24 hours of sales, the top selling skin only had 4,245 subscribers. So, yeah. Now, I'm not sure, like, if all of these deserve this sort of fate. What do I mean? Like, some of them are some pretty interesting looking designs, and there's potential for more as well. If anything, you could say all of it, really. But, yeah, people are very pessimistic, and then, yeah, this is what's happened. And we might not be here for too long today, because I am generalizing a lot. It's all very close with each other. Even right now, 48 hours in, still very close with each other. But of course, with the first 24 hours of sales, judging by at like first glance, I was very much under the impression, and I think I mentioned it in my predictions video, I thought everything was going to sell less than 10,000 subscribers. Now, it might not look like that at the moment, but it could still end up like that. We could end up with a Rust store where nothing sells more than 10,000 subscribers, and that is quite a surprise. So anyway, hopping back over to here. Just getting a good look at it, honestly. As I said, there's potential for more. There's potential for collections to get started. So it's like, okay, with a sheer lack of sales, what happens in the future if we suddenly get like a sudden burst of interest? What if we do see a collection being made? What if we do see collection continuations appearing and being accepted? Well, suddenly, you know, people might want them. And if there's only so many to go around, all the better for them to rise up in price in the future. So, okay, maybe there's some interesting things here, but a lot of you might just sit there and say it's cope. Hedge, stop coping. Well, again, it doesn't hurt to do a buy order. Fair enough. Right then, so, okay, we basically got the point. And again, if you want to get a good look at all those brand new skins, consider watching the Rust store rotation video. It's totally up to you. Right then, switching over to here, the first 48 hours of sales, and let me just quickly refresh. So, yep. Only a few more sales. Yep. Literally 2 days in, and the top selling skin only has just over 6,000 subscribers. It's pretty silly, isn't it? Yep. So, yeah, honestly, perhaps we could see some interesting things in the future. But let's also remind you, 5 garage doors in a row over the past first 5 Rust stores for this year, which is pretty ridiculous. With what I see here, honestly, some of these skins could have been picked like, I don't know, at some point in the summer. I honestly believe they would sell a lot more. But perhaps it's just fatigue. Let's just point out, perfectly fine amount of people turned up today. We're just about to wrap up January, and it looks like we're going to have an average player count of over 121,000, which is totally fine. I think we've got another 20 minutes for that, so all right, keep an eye out for that. But yeah, perhaps people went a little bit too wild recently, buying tons of very interesting skins that we've already seen so far. And don't forget, with February now, about to appear, we're about to have aquatic and boat-themed skins, Valentine skins, and some horse-related Lunar New Year skins. Trust me, there's quite a lot of horse stuff already appearing. So, yeah, maybe some people also considering, like, saving their funds. We'll see. But anyway, should we get started then? So for the first 3 skins, so let's switch back over to here. Welded Quarantine Garage Door, only 4,245 subscribers. Black Diamond Crossbow, 4,100. And Optimized Python, just under 4,000 subscribers. What do I want to compare to? I thought, you know what? Maybe it might be a pretty interesting idea to consider comparing to, and I've lost it. Where did I go? There you go. Blocky Solo Armored Door and Wild Hunt Small Box. 4,600, 3,600. Okay, probably not too bad of a shout. So let's switch over to there, and you can see for yourself. I'm on the wrong one. Whoops. There you go. Blocky Solar Armored Door did reach over 10,000 subscribers and almost reach 11,000, whereas the Wild Hunt Small Box, 8,600 almost, yep. So I'm rolling with the expectation that the Garage Door, the Crossbow, and the Python are likely going to do between 9 to 11,000 subscribers. There is a possibility you could see them potentially reach just over 10,000. Like, let's get started. So if that to do between 9 to 11,000 subscribers, to be honest with you, with the amount of Garage Doors we are expecting, which of course I should point out, we're getting Twitch drops, like very soon. So we're getting 2 Garage Doors for absolutely free, but instead maybe you might want to buy that for $2.49. But let's also consider the fact that chances are you probably have bought a Garage Door recently. We've had some very cool looking designs. So yeah, not surprised to see you're not selling that much, but also consider this. 5 weeks in, 5 weeks into this year, I guess you could say, and we've already had 5 Garage Doors. We have 11 more months to go. How many Garage Doors do you reckon we're going to see in just 2026? How many in total? So that includes Twitch drops, kick drops, Garage Doors, and Rust Doors. How many do you think we're going to see by the end of this year? Because I am genuinely worried we actually might get at least 40 this year. And well, what would that mean? Do you remember what happened last year with all the Garage Doors we saw? So scroll. Do you remember we got to like the halfway point where we had like some very interesting, unique designs, Twitch drops, you name it. So we just saw a whole bunch of like jungle theme skins and whatnot, but every single skin was in a negative. Well, lo and behold, it's basically the same thing almost. So, based on what we saw last year, I kind of wouldn't be surprised if that's going to be one of the ones that ends up in the negative and never really recovers. Sorry to sound mean, but it does need to see a collection continuation being made. Sheep Metador, Sheep Metadouble Door, that'd be cool, but yeah, sooner rather than later. And unfortunately, it can't be sooner because if everything's already figured out for February time, we won't see any collection continuations for anything here until March. So that's a bit of a problem then, isn't it? Yep. So we'll see what becomes of it. But considering the interesting Garage Doors I saw being submitted for, well, the Naval Update, Valentine's, and with my expectations for Lunar New Year, I'm sorry to say, but I really do think you will get lost in a shuffle with the very strange designs we're about to potentially see being accepted for those Rust Doors. Black Diamond Crossbow. Now, with all due respect, Black Diamond Collection is in demand. Some of these are in the negative, but like if you just look this like 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, you would have noticed like pretty much all of this was in the positive. And wow. With the current sales you're having, let's just quickly look at all of this based on lower subscribers. So, all right, there you go. In the past, we have had a Black Diamond LR300 only do just under 8,000 subscribers. And even right now, still basically half price. And then we also have the Custom SMG, almost 10,000 subscribers, still down in price. But I'm sure we'd agree, LR300, the actual weapon itself, not appreciated. Custom SMG, not appreciated. Are we surprised by this? Not really. But crossbows, there's various different servers out there and whatnot, and restricted servers, you'd see crossbows being used a whole lot more. But in general, people do just like appreciating and like using crossbows. How much usage do they get? How hard stuck are you with certain workbenches? Anyway, so honestly, I can see that actually working out all right, especially considering, in regards to crossbows, what's the cheapest one right now? I've said this already like a few times, but it really does set the tone. So as you'll notice, the cheapest one right now is just barely over $1, followed by a few more that are just barely over $1. Then we elevate to like $1.20, and then it's kind of like most of these skins here are like between $1.20 to like $1.40, $1.50. So it looks like on average, a crossbow will most of the time end up between like $1 to $1.50. But with something with a sheer lack of sales like that, being part of an actual in-demand collection, I would be surprised if that actually works out quite nicely in the future. Now, if we could also just take a look at all those crossbows and just look at them based on like subscriber counts. So yeah, let's go to lower subscribers. Of course, we're going to see some ancient ones from the past. If I could just scroll up to like 10k. So whereabouts are we? No, you're going lower, so let's go higher. Here we are, yeah. We've had some crossbows do around 10,000 subscribers before, and as you notice, quite a lot of them aren't doing very well. Both of those are Christmas skins. That isn't. That's Black Diamond. Black Gold crossbow right there. Uh-oh, that's a bit of a concern. So, Black Diamond is a blackout alternative option. Black Gold is also a blackout alternative option. But that's sold for $3. This right here, $2.49. Well, you know what? with it being abnormal, we can do a pretty decent barter in it. And I feel like $1 to $1.50 might not be too bad of a consideration. Maybe a little bit less, we'll see. But again, let's keep an eye on those sales. Let's keep an eye on the subscriber count. I don't think it could be too bad for it. And I do believe when times are good. So that, of course, might, we'll have to probably wait until the summertime. That being like June, July, August time. I'd be surprised if that probably bounces up a fair bit. I just wouldn't expect it to be huge gains. So keep an eye on it. Optimized Python. So basically, when I first looked at you, I was like, okay, another transparent aim sight Python. I've got nothing against it, but there are cheaper options. However, those cheaper options also did sell quite a lot. So let's also just, get a quick look at all of these. So, of course, we've had the Heatseeker Python. That did over 20,000 subscribers. That's quite a lot. We had the Chrome Bombshell Python. Well, that only sold for $2. It's only slightly down in price, but it also only did about just over 10,000 subscribers. Chances are this could sell more than that. But realistically speaking, I do believe this will be selling less than that. But this is also selling at $3. However, this could be the beginning of a brand new collection. Now, let's just quickly point out, slightly cheaper, we had the Redemption Python, which is doing very well at the moment. And if you're going to really bring it up, yep, there's the Blackout Python, just over $9 at the moment. 19,000 subscribers, and of course, 14,000 subscribers. But, as I've mentioned in my predictions video, that's an interesting sort of white design. We actually had the skin creator appear in the Rust Rotation video when we were streaming, when we were recording everything, and they have expressed interest in continuing this and making a collection. Now, if you've seen the price of like comics collection skins, notably the weapons, I think a lot of people would greatly appreciate a cheaper option for some white weapons. Like for the crossbow, wow, the jackhammer's $11, but then look at the SAR, $16, and then look at the AK, $24. If optimized does turn into an actual proper weapon like collection, where it's sort of white, that's fine. I think a lot of people would be greatly appreciating that. Now, also the potential to see it with some transparent aim sights as well. That might be pretty sweet. So we'll see what becomes of that, but yeah, there's potential there. It's up to the skin creator if he wants to commit to that. And with it selling not that much, it only makes it look a whole lot more interesting. So okay, we'll see what becomes of this. But again, we have the issue of, well, we're not going to see a collection continuation until March. I repeat, skin creator has expressed interest to turn it into an actual proper collection. What would you like to see being made next? Feel free to comment below. So let's now move on to the next three skins. So that'll be the Wooden Door, the Rock, and the Bed. So let's switch over to here. So with the first 24 hours of sales, the Wooden Door did just under 4,000 subscribers. The Rock did just about 3,700. And the Bed, almost 3,600. What are we going to... I lost my tongue. What are we going to compare to? I think comparing to the Flame Anarchy Pump Shotgun might be a perfectly fine option. So basically, you could look at this and then also compare with the Wild Hunt Small Box again. So right then, let's go ahead and do just that. So if we could switch over to here once more. Ta-da! Right then, that's the wrong one. Oops. Right, here we are. So, that did just under 8,000 subscribers. Looking at you again, well, 8,600. And a minute ago, we did just say 9 to 11,000 subscribers. Honestly, I think 8 to 9,000 subscribers is probably a very good shout, considering where these are currently sitting at in terms of their sales at the moment. So let's just switch over to here, refresh again. We're more up to date here. So yeah, let's see if you keep the pace, because you never know, it might suddenly get slower and then these sell even less. But we'll see how it goes. Now, when I first looked at the Kawaii Wooden Door, I thought, okay, I'm not going to hate it. It's a silly, goofy little thing. But I was sitting here thinking, you know what? It would be pretty interesting if the skin creator committed and made like a collection of these doors. What do you call these silly faces? I know you can make them with your keyboards or with different symbols. I don't know. But like, I quickly looked online and I saw Smoothie make a comment on my YouTube, and I just responded to him with the same face that you can see there. But I'm correct to say it'll be interesting if he went ahead and made like a wooden double door, a sheet metal door, a sheet metal double door, an armored door, an armored double door. Make a set of them. Try and do different faces if you can. It'll be goofy, it'll be silly, and I think a lot of people would actually appreciate that. Would they be different colours, or would they all be the same colour? Would they all be trying to look cute and whatnot? or I don't know, devilish. So yeah, there could be potential there. It's just I don't trust wooden doors. I certainly don't. No. So of course, let's just quickly showcase all the wooden doors that have been accepted over the past few years. Oh dear. Well, that isn't looking very promising, is it? No. Down 57, down 61, down 60, down 65, down 59, down 50, down 53, down 63, down 46, down 60, down 47, down 59, down 29, down 50, 58, 56, 23. Yeah, it's not looking very pretty, is it? Nope. Oh, twig doors improved. Okay, that's impressive. Okay. Well, that's actually interesting. A fairly recent door has actually managed to go up in price. And it's just down. Although, okay, yeah, I've noticed that's up in price as well. Are you getting manipulated? That might be happening. It would be the first time a wooden door's been manipulated. It would be the first time that's been manipulated. So, okay. The point I'm trying to get across is the vast majority of wooden doors, they come out and then they go less than $1. And I'm very sorry to say, yes, you might not sell that much, but I can't help but assume your fate is sealed. Unless, further on in the future, we do see collection continuations being made. Viewer, I ask you, would you like to see a kawaii door collection? I hate that I said that. Well, it's up to you, stand up. Make yourself known. If you want more of it, stand up and demand it. Scream for it if you can, through comments, I guess, with the keyboard. Anyway, so you get the idea. In fact, if you want, if you know how to do those faces, ask the skin creator right now, comment below, do those faces, say, hey, could you do one with this face? Can you do one with that face? See what becomes of it. So, like, kawaii wooden door, whilst I expect you to drop off, even if we do see collection continuations, might be pretty interesting. Again, a lack of sales could put it in a very interesting spot. You might actually see this one actually end up in the positive. But at least for a month, I worry for it. Will I just stick with a barter? Yep. So we'll keep an eye on the sales. Abnormal barters this Wednesday. Heart of Chaos Rock. $3.49. Why? I did say that already, but I am surprised. I've got nothing against the design, but that could have just been like a $2 skin. Like, I don't get what makes it such a higher price. Do you? I guess Face Punch was just experimenting with prices. Sure, but I don't think I'll be retaining that price. It is abnormal, by the way. But yeah, 8,000 to 9,000 subscribers. Not surprised, again, with your price. It doesn't glow or anything. Not that it'd make it like have an advantage or anything, but yeah, I'm not sure if you're actually going to retain interest, and I'm not sure if you're going to keep that price up. Oh no, I'm not feeling very confident with that. No. I mean, I don't really have anything I can compare to, because if I had to look at all the rock skins that came out somewhat recently, they've all sold for like $2 or $2.49. Now I'm surprised to see some of these are actually doing very nice. I didn't realise they were doing so good. But then you scroll down, because you're looking around and you're trying to find one that actually sold for like $3 or a little bit more, and I'm not seeing it. Not until I get to like the Rock from Hell, and that did $4.49. Or rather, that sold for $4.49, and it didn't do very well, and that's down by 63%. That actually glows in the dark. That's actually part of like a well-established collection. That also did like 18,000, 19,000 subscribers. This right here, I mean, you're expected to sell at least half of that. I don't really have well, I don't have much faith with you. I don't feel so confident with you, so I'm sorry to say, but I might not be going super crazy with you. But Rainbow Pony Bed, respect that it is one of the largest collections in all of Rust. Respect that a majority of these skins here are in the positive. You might not like it, but if a lot of other people do, I mean, there's still profit to be made. You might not understand, but if it happens, learn. So yeah, the sheep in the door is slightly down in price. The garage door is doing very, very well. And let's just point out, this right here, 14,000 subscribers. This right here, 18,000 subscribers. This right here, 8,000 to 9,000 subscribers. That's quite low. Yeah. But also, let's also just respect that we have seen a ridiculous amount of beds recently. A ridiculous amount of beds. Now, last week, I did take a look at that ultramarine bed, and I thought, you know what? You have sold not that much. You are part of a very in-demand collection. And I personally thought, like, when I first looked at it, it's like 11,000 subscribers. So I thought, you know what? Surely you'll be all right in the future. Surely you'll be A-okay. And I actually bought 50 of them last week. But you, well, If you're going to sell even less, I've got to say I am tempted. But the potential of a collection continuation might not happen for a while. Let's just see if anybody's asked, hey, you're going to make a collection continuation anytime soon? I need a nice looking bid like this. Yeah, but nobody's asked him. Hey, Mr. Little Ranger, I think it would be cool to make a, I don't know, be cool to make a sheet metal double door, or a rug, or a locker, like any other deplorables, because more deplorables would make the pre-existing deplorables by one spike in price. So that potentially selling like very little, it makes it interesting. But considering Little Ranger, he works with many other people on various different collections. Yes, various different collections. I never know what he's going to make next. I've zero clue. He's got a lot on his plate, and I don't think more Rainbow Pony skins being made is a likely thing for a while. So we'll see what becomes of that. But can't rule it out. I can't imagine it'll be like that forever. You are looking interesting. I reckon you should keep an eye on that as well, right? So we'll see how it goes. Again, abnormal. Next Wednesday night, we'll do the abnormal barders. We'll look at you afterwards. I think you might be doing pretty sweet. So we'll keep an eye on that. Right then, now we have both the combat knives, the LR300 and the SAR, because with the first 24 hours of sales, yeah, they're all quite similar. Almost 3,000, just over 2,800, almost 2,800, and 2,647. So these four skins, what are we going to go ahead and compare to? Well, I think I'm going to go all the way over and take a look at the Oasis Locker. So the Oasis Locker did about 3,200, well, almost 3,300 subscribers, which, to be honest with you, is a bit more compared to what we see here. But I do know for a fact that the Oasis Locker did slow down pretty quickly as well. So let's go back to the past, get a good look at you. And you're sitting there with over 7,000 subscribers. You do have quite a decent amount of skins behind you as well. There is a collection there. It's not a very in-demand collection. But, based on what I see here, and based on what I see of the progress over to here, so, yep, 1, 2, yep, again, refresh. I'm rolling the expectation that these skins right here, 7,000 to 8,000 subscribers. Now, does that make them a whole lot more appealing? Well, Cold Hunter Combat Knife. You're part of a well-established weapon collection that has been appreciated as time goes on. Now, with some of these more recent skins, they've had some hiccups. They've had a couple issues here and there. But then again, how often do you actually use an M249, a custom SMG? All right, understood. That Cold Hunter bolt-action rifle did sell a pretty ridiculous amount. So looking at some of these other skins here, yeah, they're quite old. They did not sell that much. But this is fairly new, and it's also looking like it's not going to sell that much. Interesting. But there's also this other question. How often do you use a combat knife? How often have you gone through the effort to skin it? Are you going to skin your combat knife if you were to own that Cold Hunter combat knife? So yeah, it kind of makes you think, doesn't it? So based on what I see here, I think by default it actually might have a pretty interesting future, simply being a part of this collection. But I wouldn't be surprised if it probably struggles for a little bit. Again, we're about to go through March and April time, and typically around this time period, we tend to see less people playing, and of course, lower skin prices. And it's just past midnight now, so in a bit, we'll see January here soon, and you'll get the average player count. I reckon it's still just over 121,000. So, all right, cool. But that will drop off. We will lose probably about 20% of the people that have been playing so far in just a couple months' time. 2 to 3 months. So, yeah, we're about to have the naval update. We do expect a lot of people to stick around, potentially have even more people playing. But after that, kids got to focus school and exams. People got to focus work. We're not going to see like an uptick with the player count until around the summertime. So that, of course, being June, July, and August. I reckon I could see you improving quite nicely as we go through the summertime. You're not selling that much. You are looking interesting. So we'll see what becomes of you. But also, you're not abnormal. That's a problem. It is a problem, so we don't have that time advantage, but hey, we'll keep an eye on it. We can make some considerations, or we can try our best and be as fast as possible. The next Rust store is expected to be an early Rust store, because of course it's going to be a force wipe. So, alright, cool. Bird of Luck LR300. I complain about LR300s all the time, so just take a look at all the recent ones, and as you'll notice, well, they're not looking very pretty. Well, you're doing all right, but well, that's a special DLC. But the rest of these, down 49, down 63, down 22, down 61, down 62, down 63, down 65, down 22, up 25. But that collection's in demand. Bird of Luck collection. Are you in demand? Are you a weapon collection that people are craving for? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not looking very pretty, is it? No. It's unfortunate, but being realistic with you, this could only do about 7,000 to 8,000 subscribers, and I still don't feel confident with it. Sorry to say. So, yeah, not looking very appealing there. Sorry to say, there's nothing wrong with the actual skin itself. It's just, I know for a fact people don't appreciate LR300s. We'll see if we can ever see some improvement. Like, Sunart made some pretty cool looking deplorables, and I'm surprised Facepunt never bothered. What'd they do wrong? I guess they just don't like peacocks. Alright, we'll shrug. Senor Tomato SAR. Now, to be honest with you, if this was to do between 7,000 to 8,000 subscribers, I can see an appeal. I can see some interesting things with this, because Senor Tomato Collection, it's a survivor. It perseveres. Yeah, quite a lot of these skins, they haven't sold ridiculous amounts, and then you look at them on the Steam market and you realise they have low listings, and you then see them work out quite all right. Now, I have seen this quite a lot of the time. When you see a brand new skin, yep, we have deplorables, we have some clothing, bits and whatnot, and we had some weapons. I've still noticed these Pokemon spike in price because there's hardly any listings. A new skin appears, just a few people feel compelled to go buy some of them, and then suddenly it looks as if it's made great leaps and jumped up in price quite a lot because there wasn't that many listings. Only a few sales. So, okay. Are you expecting more Senor Tomato weapon skins and tool skins to be produced? I am. I fully expect it. Do you reckon, if we got like 8 Senor Tomato weapon skins being accepted, do you reckon all of them would be in demand? Let's be respectful. That's not doing too bad here. Senor Tomato AK-47, you have gone down in price. But most AK-47s, they'll go down by about half their price. Well, that's just about only down by a third. It's slightly better, but still went down in price. So, you're looking as if you're potentially going to sell almost half as much as this, which is quite the surprise. But again, if we do see more skins being produced and accepted, I think the SAR actually might go up in price quite a lot, simply due to the fact that it has a sheer lack of sales. Like, just a few sales suddenly happen when a new thing appears, and that SAR's like instantly looking as if it's in the positive. Like, worst case scenario, I'd sit here and say, maybe don't try and buy tons of them. Just a select decent amount, and then, when the time is right, like, sell them, grab that profit whilst you can, because will there be enough people afterwards that still want to buy it? Not sure about that. Again, I don't normally go crazy with the Senor Tomato skins, although I have picked up a decent amount of them with a cheaper price by order, and I have flipped them without too much of a fuss. So, alright, cool. Keep an eye on that. And then we have the other combat knife. So again, the same questions of how often do people actually skin their knives? How often do people actually get a hold of a combat knife? I would assume they just find them. I'm going to put the effort in to go ahead and actually skin it. So we'll see what becomes of that. But I did say to the skin creator, because he sent a comment on my YouTube, keep up the good work. You could go ahead and make some stone tools, regular tools, jackhammer, various other potential weapons. Hell, even consider making some deplorables or some clothing and armor. There's a lot of potential for that. But for now, especially considering all the recent combat knife skins we've suddenly got, we might have a bit of an awkward period with these combat knife skins. We are expected to see the exact same thing with spinning wheels next month as well. And quite a lot of spinning wheels have been produced. So, okay, we'll see how it goes. So yeah, keep up the good work, but we need to see more of this collection. And now we're down to the final 2 skins, the Poncho and the Void Venom Sword. So yeah, these sold a fair bit less compared to the other skins. So let's just get a good look at that. So yep, only 2,500 and 2,400. However, shouldn't be too much of a problem to compare to because we do have the temple bed right there. 2,436 subscribers. So let's go ahead and get a good look at you. Right then, so that only did about 5,500 subscribers, and yet it still went down a price. Wow. Well then, a sheer lack of sales clearly means it doesn't necessarily instantly make that valuable. Doesn't necessarily instantly make it like a huge profit. as I said, we are expecting a bit of a drop off with the player count over the course of the next several weeks. So with that, prices are still expected to go down. We can still see some issues. And again, the possibility to see some collection continuations. So I just want to quickly point this out. I went to the skin creator here. I asked him, hey, why not do like a sausage related barbecue next? Because of course, the brand is skinnable after SKS is expected to be the barbecue now. A hot dog cart? Does it look like I know what a JPEG is? I just want a picture of a goddamn hot dog. All right, anyway, move on. And then I also asked the skin creators over here, hey, how about a longsword? Maybe. No, McQuery. Yes, I need to hear commitment. I mean, what else can you do that's long and sharp? So both of these, if you're probably going to do a very similar number to the temple bed, which would probably be between 5,000 to 6,000 subscribers, well, how do most ponchos normally look? Not very pretty, mind you. But also, let's just look at all these ponchos based on like subscriber counts. Yeah, that might be pretty interesting. So, did we do that correct? I think I did highest loss by accident. Let's go lowest subscribers. There we are. Right then, so interesting. At the moment, it's like the 6th lowest selling skin so far. But of course, if we do end up with like 5,000 to 6,000 subscribers, it'll probably end up like between these two. Let's point out that's not doing very nice. That's retaining. That's doing pretty okay. All right, but then when you got that, that's not doing very well. Neither is that. Neither is that. And they've done like 6,000 subscribers. So nothing is a guarantee. But I should also point out this did get collection continuation. This is absurd. This did get a collection continuation, but it still went down. Nothing is easy. Maybe we'll get like a hot dog burlap set. Would you be opposed to dressing up like a sausage? How absurd. Anyway, so we'll see, but yeah, just because it has incredibly low sales doesn't necessarily mean it'll just be okay. Based on what we saw, quite a lot of those poncho skins, they're not looking very pretty. Literally, no, but as in their prices. Okay, shut up. So yeah. And then the salvage swords, you just take one quick look at them and oh dear. Yep. So all the more recent ones, they're not looking very pretty. And how bad is it? Down 55, down 61, down 70, down 6, down 60, down 57, down 46, down 58, down 54, down 50. Yeah, you get the point. So quite a lot of them go down in price by about a half. That one's different, but also sold like next to nothing. But still, it's not doing good. So based on what I'm looking at over here, it would be nice to see some more collection continuations and whatnot, with this already being one. But I still worry for it, and yeah, I feel like I'm just going to stick with a barter. So, okay then, understood. Low sales across the board, but nothing is like certain. Nothing's going to be a-okay. So yeah, I'm surprised I actually managed to talk for so long. You're quite talented at that, Hedge. If anything, you need to improve shutting up and moving on quicker. Right, okay, so all good in regards to that. Don't forget, in the description, everything's chaptered with the estimates. So with there being so much generalization, it might be a bit long, but yeah, we'll see. Right, let's just quickly talk about new things to look forward to. So of course, Lunar New Year skins are being submitted right now. Lots of horse-related skins are appearing, and yeah, we're gonna probably see the first ever like horse-related backpack. No, I meant to say Lunar New Year. Sorry. Well, I mean it's still correct, but last year we did see a Lunar New Year backpack, didn't we? I'm pretty sure we did. And what I meant to say is the first ever bed skin. The first ever bed skin, all right? So cool. We'll see what becomes of that. That does look pretty sweet. Is that a collection continuation? Because I do recall last year we had a pretty cool looking lantern design for a sleeping bag. Maybe we'll see that soon. We'll see. So, yep, some interesting designs so far, but keep an eye out. If Valentine's had about 200 plus skins, so yep, 250 plus to be a bit more precise, I would imagine Lunar New Year would be the same. It's just at the moment, TGG hasn't actually set up the Lunar New Year collection yet. Tomorrow maybe, we'll see. But yeah, the second I see it, the second I yap about it. Cool, so that's all nice and good. And don't forget, next week, just to reiterate, all the skins that we saw being submitted back around just before December, so this collection right here, All these skins you see here are applicable to be accepted for February Force Wipe, because they were supposed to be picked for December Force Wipe. But of course, the naval update, it got delayed. So delayed until February, but all of these skins, they were like frozen in time, and now they can be accepted. So which of these will be accepted? Well, I will link this in the description. Take a look at that batch yourself. Pick out some of those skins that you think would be a lovely, perfect fit for the February Force Wipe naval update Rustor. Twitch drops. Yes, the Twitch drops website has updated, that being twitch.facepunch.com. I'll link that in the description as well. We have 4 general drops and we have 10 exclusive drops. Just 2 hours of your time to watch each of these people and you'll get those skins for absolutely free. Now, of course, you want to get a very nice, good look at all those brand new skins. Consider watching my Rust February Twitch drops 2026 skin showcase. I've actually done 3 different titles and 3 different thumbnails. Just testing some things out. But of course, everything is chaptered, as you'll see over to here. But also, I do showcase as well how to get yourself set up. Some people still don't know how to do it. There's still new people getting involved in this and whatnot, so I understood. But I also showcase it's probably smart to go sign in and connect your accounts again and then search for missing skins. I do show this off in the first 5 minutes of this video because I found out with quite a lot of people in my own like streams and whatnot, they haven't done that in a while, and they found out some of the skins that they thought they got hadn't actually been sent over. You should consider doing that yourself, or just consider watching the first 5 minutes of this video right here. So that's up to you. So right, cool. Consider giving those skins a lovely good look. Lots of very interesting designs, pay to win designs as well, but for free. Yep. So go ahead, find out. Anything else to address? Well, I mean, you could bring up the SKS again. So, yep, the first ever SKS skin has appeared. It is, of course, the training SKS, but it wasn't actually supposed to be accepted, but kind of was. It was accidentally accepted 2 weeks too early. This is actually going to appear in the next Rustor. This is going to appear in the February Force Wipe Rustor with the naval theme skins. So accidentally accepted too early, but it will appear again. But 2 of them were bought. 1 sold for $300. 1 sold for $1,800. They are not worth that price. You'll see its price soon in the next Rustor. So keep an eye out. Don't do barters in this, all right? We're under the impression it's going to sell for $2 in a Rustor. Maybe it might get changed, we'll see, but yeah, be prepared. And yeah, I wouldn't do a barter. Right then, so all is good, looking pretty sweet. Anything else to address? Well, how's that play count now? Oh, there you go. So, January 2026, we can confirm it has just over 121,000. What is to become of February? If we have the naval update coming out for February 2026, will we surpass this? More specifically, will we surpass this? Will we have a better peak player count than what we saw January time? Last year, we saw a pretty good number, but at least this year, we have a very big update. Will it get boosted? Will it surpass 246,000? We shall see. So, all right, cool. Understood, all is good. Hope you're still getting those sales in and whatnot. Try my best, but I feel like we're past the best of it now. So I have still bought a few things here and there. It's just, yeah, it's probably a good time to consider wrapping it up now and just enduring March and April. But of course, after that, summertime. So, yep, just look forward to everything. All is good. And, of course, you could go to micro522.com to be aware of all the new skins that are being submitted. You might not have yourself a curated list set up with all the skin creators to follow. You could just go to micro522.com, click date submitted once, and you'll see all the newest submissions as they roll in. Super easy to navigate, super useful to just get a good look at some of these skins. Cool. So, that's it. That's a wrap. Thank you very much for watching me. I greatly appreciate it. Best luck to each and every single one of you. Have a splendid day. Catch you later. See you. Bye.